the situation in Attawapiskat continues to deteriorate. This is what 12-year-old Jack Linklater Jr. sent me this morning. The cold is here. It's going to be minus 34. The ice is now in our windows and mold is gaining by my bed. My sister had to stay up all last night to keep the fire going because there's holes in the house. Mr. Speaker, this is a humanitarian tragedy. The Red Cross are on the ground. Provincial officials are on the ground. Does this government think that sending in an accountant to take control of the band will actually make this humanitarian tragedy disappear?
We are committed to ensuring residents, especially children, have warm, dry, safe places to sleep. We urge the Band Council to be part of the solution. It's clear that significant investments in this community have not resulted in adequate standards of living. Third-party management is in place to address these urgent health and safety needs. Preventing the manager from working in the community will only delay urgently needed housing for residents. Thank you.
In the majority of the financial payments made by the brand, that there was either no documentation at all or inadequate documentation to prove that the money was spent where it was supposed to. So fairly significant findings that the problems on the reserve, which in part were blamed on heavy staff turnover at the Attawapiskat First Nation and on different ways that entries were made into the systems of their ledgers. But what the audit could not do really was determine whether the money was spent the way it was intended to be.
So the combined household income was $270,000 tax-free. Can you confirm those figures, and do you think that's justified in light of what she is complaining about?
I'm not here to comment on those.
Are you denying them?
I'm not here to comment on that.
These four accounts cover more than $600,000. That's enough to build a whole new house. No, it just flew out the door to consultants who obviously didn't even write a report or issue an invoice or even have a contract. You do that in the rest of Canada, you're going to jail, sorry. Here's one for $1.1 million to purchase buildings. But hang on. The band already owns all the buildings up there, doesn't it? I mean, it's all owned communally. It's the Indian Act. The vendor is unknown. There were zero supporting documentation. Question, was this $1.1 million building even in Attawapiskat? Another $1 million worth right here. I love these ones. Just called other purchases. No details, no nothing. $311,000. No problem. And sometimes that other stuff can cost $1.797 million. That would be a lot of houses, but it had to be spent on, quote, other stuff. No paperwork, just other stuff. No problem. No paperwork, no invoice, no contract. The money just walked out the door. No wonder people on that reserve are so poor. This audit isn't the end of the story in Attawapiskat. It's the beginning of a new chapter, and you know that if the names involved were Italian names from the Montreal construction industry or French-Canadian names from the Montreal ad industry, instead of Indian names from Attawapiskat, there would be resignations and criminal charges flying. You know that. Do you love Indians? Well, if you do you care about the poor in Attawapiskat? The people who didn't get all that money? If you do, it's time to choose corrupt chiefs and their 1% of friends, or the suffering 99% in the leaky houses.